Das glaube ich nicht. Ich glaube, Sie und ich, wir beide wissen, Hauptsturmführer.
Today, we give Imotekh the Stormlord a brand new paint job, and talk a little about where this channel is headed. Thank you for joining! I've recently changed my way I paint my Necron army, and after a few models and videos, I got this urge to remake at least one of my most used models on the tabletop. You see, painting this Imotekh model was a special project for me. It was also the first video to do well on my channel. But recently, YouTube has been weird with me. And some of you were of really great support. Thank you. But first, let me start stripping Imotekh from its paint with isopropyl alcohol. I've let it soak in alcohol overnight, and thankfully, zero detail were lost during the process. So yes, my videos were performing poorly recently, and I'm someone who needs to understand how things work. Unfortunately, the YouTube algorithm works in mysterious ways. It then occurred to me, well, it seems I can't do it alone, so I got some help from our friends on Mars.
Praise the Omniscient, cats, and enamel effects.
He's going to help me, I hope, with talking sense into me. And sometimes drop some cold, hard facts.
Observation. The Necron dynasties exhibit unparalleled synchronicity of function, durability, and technological superiority. Conclusion. Within the flawed parameters of Xenos classification, they are the most optimal faction in the current galactic schema.
And who better to lead them than Imotekh the Stormlord himself? Anyone having a better idea?
Oh, it's you. Warning. Stripping paint with alcohol without a filtration unit invites vapor corruption. This is a violation of both biomechanical sanctity and manufacturer safety edict 79.3. Recommendation. Mask thy face, lest thy lungs be flayed like paint from plastic. Praise be to the Omniscient and proper ventilation. You fucking donkey.
Alright, before repriming him, I have just a few more things to do. Some fixing and cleaning, for the lightning rods and pauldrons in particular, then retexture the base. As I said, I have some personal history with Imotekh the Stormlord, and this is the perfect moment to share with you what my vision of the channel is. I think I might have lost track of why I do this. Lately, I may have focused more on the models I paint rather than why I started making these videos. It's about my relationship with this hobby, and it's about sharing it with you guys. I came back into Warhammer last year, and oh boy, am I not the only one. And I received such a warm welcome, whether at my local gaming club or here with you guys. I just felt at the right place for the first time in quite a while. This community is so good, and you've proved it again recently with your support.
Observation. You digress. Talk about Imotekh.
Sure. Imotekh is just great in the 10th edition. You can use him as a CP farm, protect him your home objective, or more aggressively, leading some warriors, immortals or lich card. He has good firepower and great melee, and decent survivability. I mostly use him to screen my backlane and wipe anything coming close to it. By the way, my greatest moment with him was against Custodies. Yes, the ones with their broken Lions of the Emperor detachment. Fuck these guys.
You require my assistance?
I did a poor job at screening and didn't prevent some hard, cold, deep strike in my deployment zone.
Aha! Aha! Aha!
Salam alaikum.
Thank God, they all failed their charge after attempting to murder me and remain in place. And guess what happened when it was finally my turn?
Dear Diary, jackpot.
Let's get back to painting. I've already shared this new simple recipe with you. Just dry brush some gunmetal and glaze some contrast warp lightning and you get a perfect good looking true metal. Perfect for painting large armies, but also works fine, if you ask me, on more important models. I just have to specify one thing: how to glaze the green warp lightning. Dilute it a lot. I'm talking 10 drops of water, thinner or flow improver, to 1 drop of green. That way, you really have control of how you taint the metal, and you can always do multiple passes. Let it dry well. With summer already upon us, it goes really fast, and it's time for the enamel effect. I use Striking Grime from AK, diluted with a few drops of white spirit. Let it dry and remove it with white spirit on a sponge.
Directive: engage ventilation systems. Non-respiratory filtration unit. Enamel particulates are not for organic intake. Raise efficiency. Preserve the flesh.
Smells good. Smells right. There are a few details I need to work on before the glow effect. I want him to look better than before, and there is one area that I need to focus on: the chest and ribcage. I'm going to use the same colors as for the glow effect, but starting from Caliban green, working my way to the center of the ribcage with lighter colors: Warpstone Glow, Moot green, and Fluorescent yellow. Same goes for the cables on his belly and the gems. For the eyes, simple white dot, Tesseract Glow, and white dot again, trying not to fuck up.
Estate locked. Logic fault. User error. Repent. Reboot. Do better.
If you've watched shorts on YouTube recently, you may have stumbled upon El Miniaturista. He's basically the god of high contrast glow effects. And one of his tricks I've tried to replicate the first time I painted Imotekh was to make my white ink flow easily in small recesses. If you have the answer to this, please help me in the comments. I'm sure I'm not the only one working on this stuff. I think I did better this time. I just diluted it a lot more with Flow Improver and Thinner. And this time, I'm much more satisfied with how the base looks. We are getting there. Slowly, but we are getting there. The next big subject on this model is the cape. I've tried replicating reflections from an oil puddle, but
Error. This looks like shit.
well, I improvised something, and I will now let you enjoy how it went. Time to finish the base, assemble him, varnish him, while we talk a little bit more about Imotekh on the tabletop. To be frank, I've only been using him to farm CP.
What is my purpose?
You farm CP?
Oh my god.
Yeah, welcome to the club, pal.
I'll have to make sure to try and use him more aggressively, in Awakened Dynasty perhaps, right into the heart of the battle. Now, what about tabletop? I'd like to discuss more this aspect of the game with you, because this is what I am, and this is what I do. I paint my armies, and I play with them.
And when you paint them, what do you do with them then, Henry?
Then you put them together in little armies and you fight against someone else's army.
Visual input, Henry Cavill. System reaction, spontaneous biofluid ejection. Explanation, unknown. Mortifying.
I play with friends and at my local wargaming club, but this is a club with many different levels of play. It goes from total noob to former solo world champion. And you know what? It's fine. Because when I joined, I got to learn how to play and how not to get my head bashed in. We also sometimes gather on Discord to paint, and that's awesome. But recently, especially after passing the age of 30, I've grown less accustomed to making friends.
The less I know about other people's affairs, the happier I am. I'm not interested in caring about people. I once worked with a guy for 3 years and never learned his name. Best friend I ever had. We still never talk sometimes.
And when it comes to pairing you with an opponent, you can specify if you want to play chill or competitively. And what about you? Who are you in the hobby? And how do you enjoy it? Paint only, tabletop only, chill with friends or more competitive? I'd love to hear your story, so feel free to do so in the comments or on Discord. Let's take a look at the finished Imotekh the Stormlord. I'm more than happy with this new paint job, especially the cape. Didn't manage to do exactly what I wanted, but it's fine. It's practice for a next bigger project that will rely a lot on true metallics and oil effects. What do you think? Also about stripping old minis and starting over? Well, you shouldn't be doing that all the time. They serve as a staple for your progress, and you should keep them. Again, it was really important to me to share with you how I feel about this channel, and I can't wait to share more adventures with you. I'm just a regular Warhammer enjoyer like you, and sharing my progress with you has been really precious to me. If you want to support the channel, you know what to do, so until next time, happy painting!